Hello, hello. Welcome to English Extras. My name is Jean. If you're here, it's because you don't want to sound like a textbook. You're in the right place. This podcast is to help intermediate and advanced learners find alternatives to textbook English so you can express yourself authentically. Let's begin. In episode 4, I talked about different words and phrases we use to talk about time, as well as some words, next, that native speakers don't agree on. Time is a really big topic, and I realized pretty quickly that I wasn't able to cover everything I wanted to in episode 4. So, in this episode, I'm going to talk about common mistakes I hear as a teacher, and, for grins and giggles, more phrases that native speakers can't agree on. In English, prepositions are those tiny words in a phrase or sentence, like by, or out, or off. We use prepositions to tell people the relationship between words in the sentence. For example, the cat isn't in the box. The cat is on the box. Prepositions carry a lot of power because they can completely change the meaning of a phrase or sentence. You probably already know this if you've tried tackling phrasal verbs, which are verbs and prepositions used as one meaning, like get in versus get out. Sometimes using the wrong preposition doesn't change the meaning of a sentence, but it will probably sound weird to a native speaker's ears. There are 3 prepositions commonly used with time, and they are on, in, and at. Again, using the wrong one won't change the meaning of the sentence. It will just sound a bit odd. When we're talking about a day of the week, like Sunday or Thursday, we use on Sunday, on Thursday. I'm going to the bookstore on Saturday. Or I have an exam on Wednesday. Imagine the event you're describing. Let's say you have a picture of that event. The bookstore, your exam. Imagine a picture of that event. Take that picture, take a piece of tape, the sticky stuff you use to connect two things together, and put that picture right on your calendar, right on top. The event you're describing is on that day. Not in, not inside, not at. The event is on that day, like a picture taped to a calendar. When we're talking about a month, like June or September, we use in June, in September. I turn 30 in June. Or school starts in September. Imagine each month is like a box. When things happen, those memories or plans go in that box. Remember the picture of the event? The picture goes in the box. The event is in that month. Not on, not at. The picture goes in the box. Christmas is in December. Or I went to Miami in April. Lastly, when we're talking about a time, like a time on the clock, such as 3 o'clock or 5:30, we use at 3 o'clock, at 5:30. When I think about the word at, I think about places, probably because we often use at to say where something is. At school, at work, at home, at the store. So we can think about a time as a place, or maybe just a space in general. A space in time when things happen. So we'd say at 3:30 or at 11. We can even use at when talking about specific times that aren't on a clock, such as noon, meaning 12 o'clock during the day, or midnight, meaning 12 o'clock during the night. So we'd say at noon or at midnight. There's also dawn, when the sun rises, and dusk, when the sun sets. So we can say at dawn or at dusk. But of course, it wouldn't be English if there weren't some exceptions. When we're talking about a broad period of time in the day, such as morning or afternoon, then we don't use at. We say in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening. However, we do say at night. So I would say, I get up in the morning at 7 o'clock. I go to work at noon. I work in the afternoon. I get home in the evening. Then I eat dinner at 8 o'clock at night. So specific points of time use at, and longer lengths of time, such as the morning or evening, use in. Whew, that was a lot. Let's move on to another section of this topic. Another common mistake I hear from my students is not using ordinal numbers with the days of the month. I know. What did I just say? Ordinal numbers are used to show the rank or show the order. For example, if you win a race, you're number 1. You're first. After first is second, number 2. And after second is third, number 3. So when you hear ordinal, think of order or what comes first, second, or third, etc. Unlike other Romance languages, English uses ordinal numbers when talking about a specific day of the month. For example, my birthday is June 23rd. My wedding anniversary is May 21st. 1st. I often hear my students say June 23 or May 21, where the day of the month is the number, but this isn't how we say it. Now, you might hear a slightly different order of day and month. For example, some might say, my birthday is the 23rd of June, or my wedding anniversary is the 21st of May. Using the number of month structure is less common, probably because it requires more words. In fact, if the month is already known, many native speakers will simply say the 23rd or the 11th or the 5th. Much shorter, much easier. Remember, native speakers are lazy. So, if I'm speaking to someone and it's currently June, I could say, my birthday is on the 23rd. And everyone understands this means June 23rd. And finally, let's discuss 2 other phrases related to time that native speakers don't agree on. In episode 4, it was the meaning of the word next when used with a day of the week. This time, we're going to talk about the words up and back. Let's say you made plans to meet a friend for coffee at 7, but you just realized you can't meet them at 7, so you text your friend about it. Listen to this sentence. I can't make it at 7. Can we move it up an hour instead? Different people understand different meanings from this sentence. Some people think the new time is 6. Other people think the new time is 8. Why is this happening? Just like with the word next, when talking about days of the week, how you understand the meaning of up depends on how you think about time. For example, if you imagine time like a daily calendar where the beginning of the day is at the top and the end of the day is at the bottom, then saying move up an hour means earlier, and you would meet your friend at 6. But for some people, up can mean to move up the number, meaning to increase the number. So to move up an hour would mean an hour later at 8. The best way to avoid this confusion is to be more specific. So instead of saying, can we move it up an hour, you can say, can we meet at 8 instead? Or can we meet at 6 instead? By the way, forward, as in, can we move it forward an hour, has the same problem as up. To avoid confusion, avoid both up and forward. Then there's the word back. If you have a work meeting on June 14th, but your boss tells you, let's move the meeting back a week. What does that mean? Does that mean the meeting is now on the 7th or the 21st? If you think about time like a line, then move it back a week means it is moving back in time or closer to you. If you think about time in this way, that means you think the meeting is now on the 7th. But if you think about the word back like back away or move away, then that means the meeting is moving away from you. And that means you think the meeting is now on the 21st. Just like before, the best way to avoid confusion is to be specific. The boss should say, let's move it to the 21st, or let's move it to the 7th. And if someone uses these phrases with you, don't be afraid to ask for clarification. You can ask, do you mean on the 7th or the 21st? Or do you mean 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock? Well, that was certainly a lot of information. If this episode was a little confusing for you, don't worry. If it helps you to read along with the audio, you can find the transcript for this episode and all the episodes of English Extras on my website. Check out the description of this episode for the link. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.